This conference will now be recorded.
So this morning we are pleased to have with us Betty McNee with the Graham Company. Betty, thanks so much for being with us.
Great. Thanks for having me. We scheduled this stand up to meet the challenges that we thought we were having months ago on how to build a strong bench for recruitment and retention efforts. We thought we had challenges before COVID, and right now, as we look at the challenges that we're dealing with, it might seem impossible to recruit staff to work in retirement living settings. However, not only do we have the need to build a bench, still have the need to build a bench, we have positions to fill now. So some people made changes during all of this, and I see a lot of organizations that are actually advertising for positions to be open. So is there any good news for recruiting during and post COVID-19? I think there are. We do know that there have been some change in non-essential business opportunities. You've got unemployment that's up. And so I believe that if, like with the decrease in some retail and restaurant jobs, that people that are in kind of customer service positions might be able to pivot and take an interest in our retirement living. So the good news is the way that you fill jobs now and the way that you build a bench is essentially the same. One, we're going to specifically talk about creating connections to build an interest. And two, talk about how organizations create connections to instill passions in people so that they have an increased interest in working in this new industry. We just spoke about creating connections for interest. Okay, so I've peeped around on websites, hiring websites, and your own, and some of you do a really good job to highlight the diversity of the skills that are needed, the diversity of jobs that are available on a retirement living campus. And I think that's one of the biggest things that's differentiate. People think senior living, they automatically think nursing home, and they think nurses and care aides. That's it. That's all they think about. So the diversity, I mean, think about, you've got a little town there on your campus. You've got healthcare, you've got dining, hospitality, you've even got engineering with mechanical and water management and all of that good stuff. And you are fully a hospitality and customer service organization. So getting that message out of the diversity of jobs is huge. And the other part is job security. You have a great story with people that maybe didn't think they would be in working in retirement living and have actually not, they didn't get stuck there. They actually chose because kind of what else is available in the greater community. So you've got some good stories on job security and why people have made their career and their life at your settings. And that is a good message to get out to people. And it's not what I think that the greater community knows about you. The one thing that I think we're good about getting that message or putting it on a website when people are looking for a job, but getting the message out to high school students and college students, meaning of what is available on our campus and the job opportunities and how that might be of interest to them. One of the things that I think has always been a good message to get out when you're talking about younger folks looking for entry level in customer service is one differentiator for senior living is that we actually offer a life. A younger person, maybe a high school in the summer or even college students in the summer, kitchen staff, for instance, aren't working till 2 a.m. And so that's a plus for someone who's working in their summer, or maybe they're pursuing college during the day and they're looking for evening or weekend work. The other thing is, a lot of times, as you know, if you work in a restaurant setting or whatever, you might be bored to work on a Tuesday evening. But kind of our shifts, say in the kitchen or dining, we offer good shifts, not just the ones on the weekend. Also, the flexibility in some settings, like if someone needs a job in concierge or other services, to be able to work 24/7. So we actually do have a lot to offer. But there's two key things that when you're looking about recruiting people now is to appeal to young, bright workers, or someone, I say young, but someone maybe kind of that's transitioning from another customer service position, like a retail position, is looking at your setting. Bright workers. Two things that we value in retirement living is independent workers with initiative. Think about those activity assistants. Think about the problem solvers you need in the dining room. You need people that have initiative and that are good thinkers. And that's very appealing to today's workforce, is not being in a regimented job, being able to think, solve problems, whatever. I think that's a message that we need to get out. And the other part is, as you reach out to those that are unemployed now, or maybe college grads or high school students looking for summer, is there's one differentiator for retirement living, is that you offer meaningful work. Not only will you learn at this job and learn new skills and tasks that might be of your future interest, but you also make a difference. And we know that's more valuable to younger workforce, millennials, and whatever coming next, is making a difference. And while your websites sometimes say that, making certain that that's coming across in interaction definitely is a differentiator for retirement living, and I think it's a big recruiting point. So people also say, okay, so all that information is out on our website, but we're still not getting the traffic or interest in, say, our website or in our jobs in general. And so that's why, we need to look at how we can build a bench. How can we create passions in people? So there are a couple of organizations that are outside of senior living that have some principles I think we can borrow. One is Buffalo Wild Wings. If you can think back to when you used to be able to go out and see the game somewhere and order some wings, Buffalo Wild Wings takes a different approach in kind of building a bench. Number one, they realize that their entry-level positions, they are not glamorous. They have long hours, they deal with customer attitudes, and they identified early as a corporation that the way that they would attract talent is through transparency. So they invite people to shadow a shift. Now that's really interesting because I don't know all the specifics of how that works. If it's, people that are in high school, or if it's people looking for a job they can shadow. But think about that. How could we do that in senior living? So let's suppose you reach out to your local high school vocational program, and for people that are in say, a customer service or healthcare position, or they have an interest in one of those, or any sort of like shop classes. I know they still do have those, where you got people that are interested in more mechanical. Can they shadow some, or your business clubs in high school? They might be interested in spending time with your business manager to see what is involved in those positions. I believe that when we allow people to come out, a career day or whatever, to shadow a shift and really see who we are, that actually might build an interest through transparency. Another organization that was really impressed of how they build their bench, the Mayo Clinic. emphasizes that pipeline building, interest in people, is how they have helped to recruit, and so they create programs with local community colleges called Bridges to Healthcare. Now, they're a hospital, so that's the only bridge they can build. Same thing with us in taking some initiative, building a bridge with with the different vocational groups at a high school or a community college, offering a program to get students out to talk with your department directors, things like that. There are definitely ways that people can springboard their career by coming to visit. If you build that pipeline and also that transparency, inviting people in, and while you say, hey, look, anybody call us, they're welcome to come out, it's going to take some initiative on your part to kind of build those bridges. Pardon me. So there is another one neat thing that I have seen a client do, and I want to share this in these last parts and my personal story if you're interested to know. Because we know that we need people with a service aptitude, I don't care if you're the person at the gatehouse answering the door, to a registered nurse or a nurse, kind of that whole gamut. We hire people with service aptitude. So there was one organization that at the Graham Company, we have a vendor partner that has a service aptitude, like competency test they do with applicants to see if they have that service aptitude. They call it Service Fit. The organization is called Select International. If you're interested in knowing more, I can certainly connect you guys. However, so we've got this organization that does this testing when they're hiring their own folks. But one of the things that they did in trying to build a pipeline and invite transparency is that they connected with high schoolers and offered like their auditoriums on the weekend mornings for SAT prep or ACT prep, just to invite the community in and help their college-bound students not only prepare for the SAT or ACT, but also getting to know the community. And sometimes we do this in ways like a career fair, like you invite people in, but maybe you have sessions that your own staff can do and like teaching people how to interview, because you guys do a lot of interviewing. So, maybe you can have those connections and invite people in for something like that. But anyway, in this story, they had like a 4-week ACT, SAT, I forget which one it was, prep. And one of the things, when you think these college-bound folks are doing the test, they may or may not have decided on their careers. So they actually offered this service fit test that they would give to prospective employees, but give it to these college students so that, or college-bound students rather, so that they could see areas where they excel and other areas, to find out maybe there was something that was a great fit. It kind of helps the student, but on the other hand, the organization took the results of this test and said, you are really high in problem solving or creativity, and it listed out jobs that are a good fit for you would be things like this. And they highlighted positions that were available, careers that were available at the retirement living site. So that was a really neat thing. It was inexpensive. The test, like per person, was really inexpensive. And they saw it as a good value, not only to the student, it's a real feel-good thing, but also help them start thinking about careers at senior living as they were headed to college. So I'm going to tell you why I think that was so important, and I'm going to end with my personal story of how I came to senior care. So as a little bit of background, if for some folks that I might not know, I worked as an assistant director of nursing when I finished nursing school, and then worked as a director of nursing in Philadelphia. I did that for 7 years. I did go back to school to do my NHA health administration courses, got my NHA, worked as an NHA for 3 years, and then executive director of a campus in Philadelphia. Then worked for 2 multi-site organizations in doing like quality performance, clinical risk management, and that was, and then 6 years ago I joined Graham, doing the same thing, working very closely with clients in their challenges for quality improvement, risk management. So anyway, that's kind of my background, but that's not the important part. How I personally came to senior care started with, I'm going to say, familiarity. I was a Brownie Scout, which some will know Brownies were before Girl Scouts, right? And we would do Christmas carolings at the local rest home. Now that just tells you how old I am. But anyway, we would go to the rest home and do Christmas caroling. And then as I grew up in elementary school and middle school, I was in the chorus, and we would perform at nursing homes. My church youth group also would take on the road the Christmas and Easter cantatas, and we would go to the local nursing homes where the church members they used to attend church. Now they lived in the nursing home, so we would go and perform at those nursing homes, and we would see those church members that we had seen through the years, and now they were living in the nursing home. I totally believe that it was my early experience to those nursing communities that steered my career. I actually went to nursing school to work in senior care, and that's not typical. I don't think I've run into a whole lot of people like that, but that was my path, and I picked senior care first. And then I picked nursing second. And when my interest was in administration and clinical risk management and all of these different avenues, it was still always in senior care. So what's curious is when I think back about my skills and what I feel like some of my skills or attributes could have been used in various careers, it was my early interest and my early passion that drove my career decisions. And when you think about how these other organizations are creating a transparency, a pipeline, an interest in high schoolers and college students, and inviting people in, that you are developing that passion, that interest, and that is going to build your bench. And that also is going to get folks out and interested in the positions you have today that are open, letting people know about the diversity of jobs, what we have available, the job security, as well as the flexibility that we offer, and that in retirement living, that's one of the few positions where you really can make a difference with your career. Thank you very much for listening. I hope there are some tips that we covered here that can be helpful for you in filling your jobs and building your bench.
Thank you so much, Betty.